All right.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition, episode 68 of the Lab Epstein Hitting Podcast. Great to have you in today. Thank you for making us a part of your Monday or any day that ends in Y. Somebody told me that joke, by the way, this week, and I want to fucking slap them. We got a lot to talk about today. Winding down is it's the title of today's show, but what we're really talking about, the cusp of that, is we're going to discuss offensively hitters winding down their careers. Everybody's going to do it. Everybody has done it. Who've played before. I've done it. Ep's done it. Albert Pujols will do it. Derek Jeter's done it. And if you're a player who listens to this show, you're going to do it too, unfortunately. Let me bring in professional evaluator, successful business owner, former coach, friend, and co-host 4 Hours of Sleep, young man himself, Jake Epstein.
Young man, happy birthday to you, Jim.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're 1 year closer to me.
I'm a Leo, for those who follow that sort of stuff.
We're the best.
We are the best, and that's why we create the best show hitting podcast every day.
I had a birthday too, but I don't publicize it. I'm not like that Facebook guy that says, "Oh, it's your birthday today."
Right.
I have a birthday every year.
Every year. I didn't think you know what? I didn't think you did. I thought you just were born like this.
But I don't need to, have all of the Facebook people say, "Oh, happy birthday."
Right.
Oh, I hope you had a great day.
Right.
You know what? Because then I got to respond to it.
Or just click the like button, Chief. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do.
A lot of work.
You did tell me that I am getting old, though, prior to today's show.
I did. I thought you were 52. I didn't know you were in your 30s still.
That's nice.
So I felt bad about it.
That's really nice. That's really nice to say to somebody on their birthday.
But you look great for 52.
First, it was the text exchanges that you had with me as I was driving to get to my place, my location to record the show. It sounded like my dad. Don't text and drive. There's something called, I just want to let you know, I know you're still young. There's something called Bluetooth where I can just talk into my car and it types it out for me.
Yeah, it's not quite hands-free. I do the same thing sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
All right. We got a lot of things to discuss today. I don't know if you know that or not.
I do know that.
So there's this thing I saw online I want to bring up to you.
The Taliban.
Yes. I did see that, unfortunately. Stop laughing. It's not a laughing matter. Baseball related. I saw this post from somebody. I want to get your thoughts on it. I think it was some minor league team doing it in player development. They had a live arm, an actual person throwing BP pre-game. You don't like it?
Yeah, I saw it too.
Okay. But for the audience, let me just add a little more context because the audience may not have seen.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. And the machine next to it, you're 4 hours of sleep really gets you going. I wouldn't be surprised if you fell asleep on that table right in front of you there.
It's concussion.
So the machine was right next to the guy throwing. I guess was off to his right. Mm-hmm. What do you like? Oh, well, you just said it, you dislike it. All right, you dislike. You kind of, I don't know, indifferent.
It's a stretch. Like, do one or the other. Like, I like live arm and I also like machine. Yeah. So I don't think I would mix them. I feel like the release point's probably different. The speed's probably different.
Yeah.
I mean, I get, maybe we're trying to change speeds, but a pitcher can change speeds.
Mm-hmm.
The machine really can't that easily. But I don't know. I think people are. I saw that same quote or that same feed.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I guess it leads to adjustability, and I like the fact making players adjust, like at the lab.
Well, how does it lead to that though? That's what confuses me. How does it lead to adjustability? That's where I'm confused.
Speeds. I would just say they're going to be different speeds, but I don't like the change in the timing part of it. I guess that would, it's like, if we're going to hit up the machine, let's hit up the machine. Let's use the machine for what it is. Like, don't put a machine throwing 65 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. Assuming you're a college player, right? Which I think that was.
Yeah.
Don't set a machine, set the machine at 85.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to do live arm, feel good BP, do that, whatever it is, 55 from a close distance from 40 feet or something. So I feel like there's a spot for both of those. I just don't think there's a spot in both of those when you're taking 6 swings in a round.
Yeah.
I think that's just we're trying to create something new. Like, I'm bored today. I think I'll try this.
Is
That's
it
what that
chaos?
feels.
Is it that chaos type training that people are now starting to? It's like a new fad, I guess, that some people are
Yeah,
talking about.
I guess so.
Right. I don't know. I saw it too, and I was kind of.
I mean, I get what
uh,
you're. I mean, creating chaos, but
I'm going to
make
say it's
name.
not. I'm going to say that it's probably not the best if you can't fully break it down.
Chaos would be just a pitcher throwing different speeds.
If you,
That's game chaos related,
yeah,
but not a different form of a ball coming. Okay, I'm going to have a guy throwing, then I'm going to have a machine throwing, and then I'm going to have the slingshot machine throwing.
right.
That spring. That's
If you don't see the benefit in it though, I don't think it's really worth it.
yeah.
I know.
But I could be wrong too.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was sort of defeated the purpose of BP. I didn't really
The guy
understand.
hit two nice line drives though.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I want to switch gears here for a second. We didn't get to this last week, unfortunately. Kumar Rocker didn't sign with the Mets, and they selected him 10th overall. And when you
The only first rounder, right?
right, and when you pick 10th overall, and we've talked about this before, or you pick 1 through 10, you really have to hit on your draft picks, and you should really sign, even with the compensation. If you don't sign them, you should get that name on the dotted line. I'm going to show a clip here from the first 100 at bats episode. Your first Friday night, I was watching 2 college baseball games. Number one, Kumar Rocker was pitching for Vanderbilt on Friday night against Ole Miss, and Ole Miss really came out swinging. And I got to be honest, you and I have talked about Kumar Rocker on this show before.
Mm-hmm.
I think the debate is over. He is no longer in debate with Jack Leiter if he's going to go 1-1. My stock for him has really dropped. I saw it on Friday night. Velocity was in the low 90s, throwing a lot of breaking balls, as you astutely pointed out. And he just wasn't snapping them off. They were flat.
And he has a good career. Yeah, he's got a good.
I'm starting to lose. Now, I'm not saying he's not a top pitcher in the draft, but I'm really starting to lose faith in Kumar Rocker.
Yeah, maybe he's tired. I don't know what it is, but maybe he needs a new pitching philosophy or a new pitching plan, of attacking.
First 100 bats. I forget what number it was. Go back in the archives.
Mm-hmm.
We spoke about Kumar Rocker, you and I, and what we said. We said that we alluded to it. We don't want to speculate on injuries, but we speculated. At least I did, and you kind of went along with it. That something was not right with him, and that he, I don't know, maybe had something wrong. Something was just not right there.
Yeah, if a first rounder can't throw 91, 92 for most of the year with a ton of breaking balls.
But you go back to last year prior to the shutdown, he looked almost like a different pitcher in regards to his stuff. I mean, his stuff to me, it had more power to it. Even all the breaking stuff, the fastball, a lot more power to it. He almost became, in my opinion, I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but he almost became pedestrian. And when you find out that the Mets couldn't sign him because of a physical issue,
I don't even think he took the physical, right? He didn't even want
to
take it.
There, yeah. So we
how do you not know that before the draft?
Pat ourselves on the back. You're right. So let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this, and I'm going to show the clip here. But let me ask you this. Who does the blame there? The scout or the scouting team, scouting director? I mean, because you missed number 10 overall. I mean, some heads have to roll. And then you look at how the Mets
that's
are
the
doing.
General manager, right? That's the scouting director. That's a cross checker. That's everybody that went in to interview him. Yeah. And they did. Every organization likely went in there and interviewed him, had a face-to-face with him.
Yeah.
They should have had some kind of physical. They should have been there every day. They should have been able to see if he was throwing bullpens between starts. If a guy has an injury, you could probably watch his bullpen on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, assuming he's a Friday night starter, and see that something's wrong. Like he's not getting after his bullpen. Maybe he's not even throwing a bullpen. There's some kind of breakdown there. And then to have communications with the player before, look, we want to draft you this. This is what we want to pay you. Will you agree to that amount of money? Will you agree to slot money, whatever it might be? either he pulled the wool over somebody's eyes,
Yeah.
or it was never meant to be. So I feel bad for the Mets.
Right.
I feel bad for the Mets. I feel like it all could have been, hey, I'm having arm issues this year, and I'm going to have to wait till next year. I'm going to have to rehab for 6 months. Why did he keep pitching? Did he want to win a World Series again? He won the World Series the year before.
Right.
Like, why did he keep pitching if there was an arm issue that he was afraid to have a physical with? I just don't get it. Like,
Maybe a counterpoint, though. I also blame the Mets for this. This is
no, I do
on
too.
them.
But
This is, we have all these gadgets, these tools, all this data and this equipment now. We're actually replacing scouts, which we've talked about before in baseball. And you get this wrong. I mean, come on. There's somewhere there's someone to blame here.
So what do they get? What is the compensation?
I don't know what the compensation is. I think it's
is it just another pick after the first round, right?
I think it's a supplemental pick.
It's not another 10, not another number 10.
It's not number 10 overall, and they're not going to pick number 10 overall next year either.
Right.
But they might not make the playoffs this year. By the way, I never officially. I said I wanted to change my National League pick for the World Series. I never officially changed. I'm sticking with the Braves.
Okay.
Braves White Sox.
The Brewers are pretty good. I don't know.
Braves White Sox World Series. The Brewers are pretty good. Did they lose today to the Nationals or Saturday to the Nationals? You should know.
I don't think so.
You want me to look?
I thought Yelich hit it like a home, like 2 bombs or something.
Does he always Yelich always hits home run? Does Yelich does he have a strong throwing arm?
He's starting to heat up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's not like a Vlad Guerrero from right field.
No, that's your guy.
Nobody's
Vlad Guerrero.
We had a doubleheader today.
They did
for
win,
softball, and the first baseman for the other team had a cannon. And then I thought to myself, why is she playing first base? This is the best arm I've seen in the whole league.
Yeah.
And I called her Vlad Guerrero. Senior.
Of course you did. It's your guy.
Senior. No, senior.
That's your
Vlad Guerrero senior when it comes to the throwing arm.
You know how he got that throwing arm?
Oh, yeah.
He used to carry buckets around. Did your dad ever tell you to carry buckets around? Be sure to like and subscribe to our show. Usually. Leave a review and do all that stuff on Apple, Google, Spotify, and check out our YouTube page for video episodes. The Lab Epstein Hitting Podcast. That's the title of the YouTube page for those who may want to watch us two jamokes do this show. Hey, there's a drill. It's called the Hank Aaron drill. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Well, it's a drill where, and this is where the visual element of the show really comes into play, because I'm about to do something with my hands. So that's why everybody should check out our YouTube page, scoundrels. So, you know how I'm left-handed, as you know. We're doing a mechanical breakdown of me, by the way, at the end.
Oh, wait, I might know the drill. Okay,
well, we're doing my mechanical breakdown at I think the end of October. Be ready for that one. That's gonna be good. So that's gonna be good. I just turned 25 today, so I didn't really turn 20. Okay.
Just ended.
So my hands, right? I'm left-handed, so my hands are positioned as if we got to talk about the knuckles too. People want to talk about the knuckles a lot, like how the knuckle's supposed to be aligned. We'll get to that in another episode. So the Hank Aaron drill, you reverse your hands and you hit that way, right? Okay, so that's an example of a drill. I don't know, the Hank Aaron drill. How do you go deciphering through what drill is realistic and what actually is applicable to the hitter, or if a drill is just nonsensical, like maybe the Hank Aaron drill, which we love Hank, but the drill may be, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, the reason, if I'm not mistaken, when the first scout saw him.
Yep. I know where you're going.
Whatever.
Yep.
18, 16. I'm like, he wasn't 8. He was hitting with his, his top hand reversed, right? He had his left hand on top of his right hand. Yeah, that's kind of where that comes from, if that's the truth. Drills are designed to trick people into doing things correctly. Okay, so that's what drills are for. How can I trick this player with this drill to fix a certain issue? For instance, I had a player in Cassidy Shomo, who's a left fielder at Mizzou, University of Missouri. She's from Lake Charles, Louisiana. So they drove over to College Station last week. And Cassidy, you can look her up, man. She made like 3 ESPN top 10 plays last year she dives all over the field. She's nuts. So she came in and she was swinging up at like 20 degrees, 21 degrees, like her first few swings. And I was like, good Lord, I hadn't seen her in a couple of years. And I was like, that's a shame. Like, I wish I would have seen you a year ago or 2 years ago, but the conversation's for neither here nor there. But I had, it wasn't her choice. Okay.
Yeah.
But, it was, I told her to try to swing straight down.
Okay.
We did a drill where we didn't use our legs at all. We used only hands. I was trying to get her to throw her barrel straight down to get her. This is an athlete I've worked with and had locked in a couple years ago. Like her swing was so good, her bat speed was so high a few years ago, and it took me 45 minutes. I thought it would. I told her, I said, it'll probably take us 4 swings and I'll get you where you want. And I was wrong. Like it took us 45 minutes of her trying to swing straight down just to get to like 5 to 10 degrees up. Okay. So that's a drill that I wouldn't give to everyone, right? I wouldn't do that drill. I was tricking her into trying to swing still up slightly, but not up 20 degrees, up 5 degrees. So that would be, a good example of what drills are for. The Hank Aaron drill, I'm not sure what that does. Maybe that gets you to use your front arm more, like if you're an elbow dropper or something, a bat dragger. Maybe it keeps the barrel up more. I'm not sure. I've never really used it, but
how do you?
That's what drills are designed for, and their drills are designed for different people. Not everyone. I would never take a team of 12 kids and be like, we're all going to do this drill because you might need this drill and you might need this drill. And that's why when you prescribe drills for players, it has to be based on their needs and not just a blanket approach to an entire team.
How do you spell Cassidy's name?
Casid.
I got that. Yeah.
Oh, Shomo? Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the best.
Yeah.
CHAUMONT.
Got it. Okay. I'm gonna look up her numbers. That's why so she plays. Where does she play? Oh, okay. She plays at
Missouri.
She plays at University of Louisiana.
She did. She transferred from Lafayette.
Oh,
so she was at Mizzou last year. They had a great team last year too.
She's 5'10", so she's my height. What position does she? What position does she play?
Athlete, left field.
Left field. Okay, she's probably a better athlete than me, quite frankly.
She's a better athlete than I am. She's a better athlete than most.
Just say it. She's a better athlete than me too. I know what you're thinking.
No, I don't know. You're a pretty good athlete, Jim. Pretty good.
Okay, hold on. I'm looking up her numbers here. I can't find them. Does she have a good year? Do you know? Oh wait, hold on.
Last year she did not have her best year. She's dead. So we're thinking now we're back on. We have a good plan, and we're gonna get after it. I haven't seen her since she, I think, was a freshman or so.
Her slugging was 403. She had 12 extra base hits. You guys are getting after it.
And so, like, no joke, we were hitting off the the hit tracks at the lab.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me, she's like, I don't know where the bat speed went, because I have a video of her from a few years ago that I probably posted to Twitter way back when I saw her. And her bat speed was like 71 or 72 miles an hour. That's crazy. That's big. Like, that's really big bat speed. Mm-hmm. And so it took us probably 2 hours to get her back to 70 miles an hour. She was in the 66 to 68 range with her attack angle up really high. So once we got back to her using her body correctly, using her hands correctly, she wasn't using any hands. She was just kind of turning and spinning and dumping the barrel a little bit, which is, what they were kind of working on, what she had been taught the last year or two. So all of a sudden we got her bat speed back up above 70. And as soon as that happened, I'm telling you, I think she hit like 8 home runs. Like, hitting a home run on the hit tracks is not easy because there's no spin. And I'm not a person that's like, hey, hit it 40 degrees, right, where you could cheat it. So it doesn't take spin. So if you hit a ball like 25 degrees, with backspin, it's going to go out of the park. Well, on hit tracks, it won't tell you that. Anyway, she had like 10 in a row. Like once we got her bat speed up, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to throw you middle in, have some fun. And it was just like boom, 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 boom. So her bat speed went up really like 4 to 5 miles an hour by the adjustments that we made, which was huge. Which was sad because
I was going to say context purposes, what's a good bat speed in softball?
For college, like major league average is 77 to like 82.
Right.
That's major league baseball average. Grown men swinging a drop 3 or a drop 2. And then, but some of them like a Stanton or a Bryce Harper or something, they're going to be closer to like 88 to 90.
Right.
Like some guys are up there, but if you look at like a Justin Turner, his bat speed's probably.
What about for college softball though?
80. For softball, typically 65 to 70 is good. Anything over 70 is great.
So she has great bat speed.
Getting her back up, she has really good bat speed when she does things right. And what we worked on was, hey, where is your bat? So she had a swing plane, unfortunately, that was only good deep in the zone because she was dropping her barrel. So anything she hit out by her front toes, she was coming up so much she would top it. So she would top it, but her bat speed was great. So I said, look, we got to take where your bat speed is great. Where's your bat speed great? It was like 2 inches in front of her front foot, maybe 3 inches in front of her front foot, like way out in front for her. Not everybody's in the same spot. I said, that's where you need to launch the ball in the right trajectory. So when you hit it 2 or 3 inches in front of your front toes, you got to launch that ball 20 to 35 degrees.
Yeah. Not
negative degrees because you're topping it. And once we did that, all of a sudden her power came back. So it was pretty cool. Like it was a really good, we spent maybe five hours together, over a couple of days, and it was very worthwhile. So I'm excited for her to go back this fall and kind of hopefully be able to take that to her fall ball and scrimmages and show the power that she should have.
Really quick, do you have any thoughts on the Atlantic League moving their mound back? They did 3 weeks ago. We just haven't touched on it.
Yeah.
And do you have any thoughts?
Think it's silly. No,
okay,
I don't.
Me too. Well, the Atlantic League is celebrating it like it's a big accomplishment. It's not.
No, it's changing the game. After double, they did not want that to happen.
It's JV. And I can tell you right now, the players and the managers, coaches, they're not going along with it. So for those of you celebrating it, you don't know the game of baseball.
Yeah.
Well, not all of you can be like F and Jim, your friend Jimbo.
That's right.
Well, why don't we break here? Why don't we do something different this week? Let's break here and let's talk about what's going on at the lab. What do you got going on? And then we'll get into the main event topic
here. So summer camps are over, right? School's back in session. So our membership classes are filling up quite a bit actually this past week. But we are launching a couple new programs for players that are in that 15 to 18-year-old range. So we're going to do combine type assessments. So we just hired a strength coach, Steve Price from Rutgers. He's out of Rutgers University, and we have a ton of new technology to be able to do vertical jumps, do 60-yard dash, laser measured 60-yard dash. We can do ground force stuff, grip strength, and then all of the baseball stuff. So we're going to have like probably 20 different pieces that we're going to assess our players, which is great. Here's your assessment. It'll be a couple hours. Most importantly, we're going to give them, this is what you need to do to get better. And then what we want to do is we want to assess them every 8 weeks and make sure they are getting better. So, if your bat speed is this, you need to work on this in the weight room. You need to work on these drills. You need to do this. And hopefully we can chart and get players exponentially better. So we're very excited with that. We also might be doing in conjunction with a couple major colleges in the area, some showcase games during the week, where we can bring in players from Houston and Austin, maybe even up near Waco, possibly Dallas, the top players in the area to be able to be seen this fall, in front of college scouts or college recruiters and professional scouts. So that's kind of what we got going on this fall.
All right. Very
exciting.
Good. More information, log on to labbcs.com. Am I right?
Yes, you are correct.
That's 68 episodes. I haven't gotten it wrong once in 68 episodes. All right, let's get into
the people's champ.
That's right. Let's get into our topic of today's show, the title, Winding Down, talking about careers coming to the end on the offensive side. Everybody faces it. And I know you told your story about how your career ended. Mine ended via injury, believe it or not, at the collegiate level. And you always, I think, I don't know about you. Do players get left wondering, maybe there was more, maybe I should have kept going? I don't know, especially offensive guys. Pitchers, you kind of know, listen, my arm's done. I can't. But there seems to be apprehension when it comes to offensive guys, players who play every day, hitters, because you hit so much over and over and over again. You think maybe I can squeeze a little bit more a little more juice out of this orange. Do you feel that that's kind of the mindset with offensive players?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on your age too. I think Albert Pujols this year, ran straight, head first into that wall. Like, screw you. I can still play. Yeah. Like, and I will prove you wrong. But he's 42 going on 48, his real birth certificate, or whatever his real age is. Me, I was 22 or 23. Mm-hmm. And it's like, hell yeah, I could still do this. Like, I'm a young man. I got the whole, and I would watch games. I remember getting released and then my agent's like, all right, well, I'll get you, so I got a couple calls, but it was like, all right, I got to leave. They're like, you need to leave the apartment.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can hang around and wait for, like another team.
Yeah.
So I got in my red Ford Ranger and drove 6.5 hours back to she was my girlfriend at the time, my wife's house. I cried, I think 6.5 straight hours too. I got there and then, had a couple offers that were just stupid. Like, oh, I'm going to go back to rookie ball. Like, that's silly stuff. But gosh, I remember watching games on TV. That summer, I think I took one class or something. I was able to sneak into a class. I had a job waiting tables or working in a bar. I don't remember what it was. But, and I'm watching, I'm like critiquing everyone. How do you miss that pitch? I would have hit that pitch out of the park. Oh, I would have hit that pitch. I would have, and it was like I couldn't watch baseball. There's no way I could sit and watch a baseball game because I just wanted to get back out there and do it. And I think most people have that for a little bit, regardless of when it is. Maybe it's at college, right? It's your last college game. That happened for a lot of players this year. A lot of college players were seniors that weren't going to play professionally. And that was, I feel for them. Like, that last time they walked off the field is a sad, and you prepare yourself for it. Like, okay, this is it. Like, this is senior day. Or, in my case, at spring training, it was, everyone's talking to me a little bit different. Like, this is kind of weird. Like, that coach was my buddy last year. Why isn't he like making eye contact with me? So you start to see the writing on the wall that, and mine was very typical. They cut a lot of guys in spring training because they bring a lot of guys in and then they got to cut a lot of guys every year. So, you kind of see those guys that are just getting pushed aside. They're getting less innings. You're maybe not with the team you should be with it, practicing every day. And it's kind of like, okay, there's the writing on the wall. So, you have to prepare yourself. You have to understand that this is a game and it can end at any time. Like with you, it ended with an injury. My head guy down in Texas, Matt Yingle, he broke his ankle, and that was kind of same thing with him. He was in AAA and hopefully going to get a big league camp invite, and ran to first base and broke his ankle and never really did anything after that. And it's tough to look back on, but we move on. It's a game like anything else, and you get what you can out of that game, and you learn from that game, and you get experiences and life lessons. And then you move on and figure out what life is all about. Maybe you start selling insurance. Maybe you sell cars. Maybe you start your own company. You're, some kind of genius, or maybe you're a trader, a day trader.
Maybe you start a whole hitting academy, and you do a podcast, and here you are.
That's right. Yeah, and maybe you stay in the business, right? But there's a place for everyone.
I guess we both stayed in the business in many, many ways. For
sure, we did.
part of it with me, and you've exposed what you're ending your career a lot on this show, and we joke around a lot, but I do truly appreciate that as your friend, as your co-host.
Yeah.
So I'll give a quick story about for ending for me, but I will say it's been weird, I think, for both of us. You obviously on the evaluation side with the Brewers, but with me spending every single day pretty much over the past almost 10 years now, started in 2012, 2011 as an intern for a team, spending so many days and years in a professional clubhouse. It's almost like you never almost leave as a player. I never felt like I ever had that separation, if that makes sense. So without playing professionally, I still know what the professional game is like.
Yeah.
Because and you do too, obviously, you play and you evaluate, but I'm there every single day. So, there's
and some people don't do anything.
Right.
Some people become engineers, right?
And there's nothing. Hey, God bless them, because there's nothing wrong.
Right.
So when my career came to an end, I went down to the beach, Ocean City, New Jersey. My parents had a house there at the time. I went to the beach 7:30 in the morning, put a towel down and a chair next to it, laid on the towel, back and forth, back and forth. I didn't go in the water. And I literally just stared out into the water until I think it was 7:00 at night. No water, no eating, nothing all day. I just reflected.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have my torn quad to that's a memory of mine, which, by the way, I can still squat and I still fight through the pain of squatting and I'm still in great shape. But kidding aside, nonetheless, that's how I kind of coped in a way. I didn't do what you did. I didn't look at like other players. I just kind of stared out into the abyss and realized it was over. But I used to go down to the Jersey Shore as a kid. Like we used to call it the Jersey Shore, us people from Jersey, right? I used to go down to the shore as a kid, late August, right around birthday time. And we used to spend a couple of weeks down there as a family. That was when my season pretty much ended. And I was going either into football or fall ball, probably both, And I realized that day that I'm sitting on the same beach that I used to play at with my friends or whatever. This girl I had a crush on who I still talk to this day. We're still friends. Victoria, she knows who she is. I used to play with her, and I used to beg her to go into the sand and pitch to me or whatever. And I always had that baseball thing trailing me. Well, I realized sitting there and just looking out in the water, I didn't have it anymore. It was over, and that was a tough pill to swallow. That's all. It happens, happens for everybody. You cried. I looked down to the ocean like an idiot. All right.
Yeah, you were like Cameron in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, when he's just sitting on the edge of the diving board looking in the abyss.
Just staring out.
I remember before right before the draft, my senior year, I remember our season ended, at Fullerton. Mark Pryor, just shoved. And I was like, oh my God, was that it? Like, I was sitting out in front of the locker room on the concrete because Fullerton wasn't pretty. It was like I was sitting on the sidewalk like, oh, was that the last game I'm ever going to play? Like, I wasn't sure. I wasn't going to be a top rounder. And it was like, and it was like, oh, that would be the worst thing in the world. Like,
yeah,
I didn't even have a chance to win that game. So, yeah, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? That hurt only happens because of all the great times you have playing the game. Yeah. When you're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, however old you are, all those great moments you had. That's why it hurts when you take the Band-Aid off and you're not going to play anymore. I think it's pretty cool for somebody like Bailey Hempill, who we've talked about on the show, and I guess we're going to review her swing in a couple of weeks. But, Bailey was a senior. She knew she wasn't going to play. She didn't want to play professionally. She's a bright kid. She's going to be an occupational therapist, and was a grad student, I think, when she graduated. And it was like I know I'm done. Like, what a great feeling to be in that position.
I'm glad you brought that up.
And she made it. They went to the College World Series, right? So it was like they made it all the way to the College World Series.
Yeah.
It's her senior year. She had no more eligibility. She knew she wasn't going to play professional. and she could relax and enjoy the moment. And you know, there's just another way to end your career, which that's pretty amazing. You know, that's a pretty great way to end your career.
I'm glad you brought that up. I think we've talked about this too on the program many episodes back. Softball players, female sports in general in college, those gals, they're lucky in a way that they know their career is going to end, so they can be at peace with it after 4 years. For baseball players and football players, etc., there's always that carrot. Even if you're not good enough, you still think you're good enough.
Might be
there's that carrot that's dangling there that you said maybe, you know, and you don't know when it's really going to end. And then you go into professional baseball, and not everybody's going to have a career ending like Chipper Jones, Derek Jeter, David Ortiz. Then it gets even worse. You don't know when it's going to end. So on the male side, and it's the same thing in all professional sports, you just don't know when it's going to end. And where with women's sports, you know, they're kind of, I guess, you know, being as sensitive as I can, they're lucky in that way. Maybe they don't look at it that way, but they are lucky in that way where they know I'm a senior, I'm done. This is it. This is the last dance, so to speak. You better enjoy it.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see how they look at it, or if they're like, this sucks. I want to go make $1 million.
Well, maybe we can get Cassie Shomo on the show and she can tell us.
I had a great conversation with them last week, because it was like that. It's like, you know, the women's college World Series may have had as good or better ratings than the baseball college World Series.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For like the first time or something. There was some kind of ratings. It's like, you know, there's a market.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the highest softball ratings ever, right? Like it was drastically bigger. So there's a market for people to watch that. So why isn't the professional game, you know, as great? So what do you do to help professional softball? Like, what do you do? Does Major League Baseball help support that?
You move the mound back.
Definitely move the mound back.
Yeah.
Which they need to do in Olympic softball, because good Lord, I watched Monica Abbott release the ball from like 33 feet from home plate at 74 miles an hour. That's not fair.
Yeah. Right. Let me ask you a question. Getting back to the topic really quick. How do you cleanse yourself, you think, as a hitter, as an offensive player, when your career is done? You know, because sometimes we still have it in us. I mean, shit, we're doing a mechanical breakdown series of me in late October, or whenever it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
A couple month or whatever.
Everybody.
I mean, I still really haven't cleansed myself completely. How do you go about that process?
You know, some people play like, you know, men's senior baseball. They'll go to fantasy camp stuff. You know what I did? I picked up a golf club and never swung a baseball bat again.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do men's baseball. That's for sure.
Yeah,
like
I just found something else that was enjoyable and competitive.
Yeah,
in certain ways, and that filled the void for me. But yeah, I was never hey, you should play on the baseball team or the softball team or something like that. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know. I'll join a bowling league.
I like
before
bowling.
I would do that, and I like bowling.
I'm a good bowler. We should have a bowl off.
We should bowl. Yeah, we'll have a couple white Russians.
We can wager.
The dude could join us.
When I come to your certification clinic one time, and we do the live podcast, we'll have a fucking bowl off.
We should. Right. Maybe that's what we need at the lab. We'll put a bowling alley in somewhere. A basketball court.
You know, the White House has a bowling alley.
Yeah.
And a basketball court. I want to live in the White House. I want to be president.
Place to live.
I want to be president.
Yeah. I'll be the president's dog walker.
You'd walk Kaya.
As long as I could use the basketball already.
Would you walk Kaya for me?
Sure.
Yeah.
A big walker. I like to walk.
She says hi to everybody. So
give
you a heads up.
My dog barks at everyone. He's a pain.
I bet you that Kaya and your dog would be best buds.
Probably. He does like female dogs. Males, he posts up a little.
Slow your roll there, Chief.
He didn't know what to do. He's got no equipment.
Okay. Let's get to
poor bastard.
I had cake earlier. I'm about to throw up.
That's the first sugar you've had in months.
I know. That's crazy. Let's get to our great topic, great birthday topic that we're talking about here. Our career's ending. I'm talking about this on my 25th birthday.
Yep. You're a real downer, Jimbo.
Yeah, the time the time I stared out into the ocean when my stupid career was done. What a melodramatic piece of shit.
What a great visual I have. Like I actually can visualize seeing you at a great beach, because the Jersey beaches are beautiful. They're beautiful beaches, and I can just see you just zoning out. Maybe
I had shorts on. I had shorts on, my sneakers, everything. I didn't even move. Just
zoned out.
Douchebag. Douchebag I was.
Man, you're out of it.
See what the game did to me? See what it still does to me to this game? I knew I should have played fucking hockey. This wouldn't be called the Lab Epstein Hitting Podcast.
But it would be the same thing. It doesn't matter what sport.
I know. That's what's crazy.
Right? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. So the lesson we take away from this, if anybody takes any lessons away from this show, is that it will end someday. So just be prepared for it. And whether you're 40, 20, what they say in that Moneyball, the movie, Billy, doesn't matter if you're 40 or 20, we all get told.
Yeah.
I'm not very good.
You could be 10.
You could be 10. I hope
you could be 12. I mean, I have players, in the online academy, and players that I've given lessons to, and they reach a certain age, and I'll get a note from their parents. Yeah, he just decided to do something else, or he's going to go to college. He had a good high school career. He's going to go to college and just study. And it's like, I knew the kid wasn't a special athlete. You have to be very special to play at high levels. Yeah. But he worked his tail off, and he got the most out of what it was. And it was like, okay, I'm 14, I'm done. I'm 18, I'm done.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm 10, I'm done. I'm going to go do another sport. It doesn't matter to me. But my job as a coach is to get the most out of that player and to give them the most opportunity to maximize their potential as a person.
Yeah.
And if that means they play baseball or softball till they're 12, great. If it's 16, if it's 22, if it's 40, I just want to give them every ounce of intellect that I have to help them along the way of that journey.
Let's get to our listener question here. And this comes to us from Troy in Dallas, Texas. Maybe it's Troy Aikman, my favorite football player of all time. Probably not, but if it is, that'd be great. Troy in Dallas, Texas, sent to us via jimbopodcast21@gmail.com. Right. Troy writes, hi guys, just turned on the podcast, got turned on to the podcast, and I really enjoy it. It's very insightful. My question is pretty simple. My son is 16 years old and is starting to get looks from colleges. There's a mix of D1, 2, and 3 schools that have shown interest. A lot of kids at that age want to play D1. What is the best advice Jake would have for a parent and kid in trying to navigate through college recruiting? Thanks again. And that is from Troy in Dallas, Texas, sent to us via Jimbo Podcast 21 and I know you're on 4 hours of sleep, but gmail.com. Go
gmail.com.
You can answer the question. I'll let you go. I'll let you off the hook.
Yeah, it's good. You're 16, you're getting looks. What I always tell players is, what's the most important thing for you? Is it to play baseball in college? Or is it to attend a big college, maybe a Power 5 school? I want to go to Clemson. I want to watch football games.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to Kansas. I want to watch basketball games. Or is it, I can go to a Division III school with 7,000 people, 5,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a football team, but I want to play baseball. Like, I want to keep playing baseball. So you have to prioritize that. I've worked with a lot of good players that could have played D2 or D3 or junior college, but they were like, you know what? I want to go have the college experience. I want to join a frat. I want to go to football games where there's 80,000 people in the stands, and I want to go to a good engineering school. So that's kind of number one for me, is what do you want to do? Like, where do you see yourself in college? Do you see yourself, unfortunately, while you're 16, if you're a real dude, and by real dude, you're big for your age, right? You're a well-advanced 16-year-old. You're a big, strong, fast 16-year-old. At that point, you're probably getting looks at a lot of Division I schools. If you're a 16-year-old that's a really good player, but maybe you're not a freak athlete yet, maybe you're a late bloomer. That's how I was. I was a late bloomer. I was not big and strong when I was 16 years old. I mean, it was a much different journey back then. You play it out. You just keep getting better and bigger and stronger, and you keep going to showcases and see what kind of interest that you get. You go to different colleges, you'll know. Go to a college. Like I have a player who's a really good player. He's from the Pacific Northwest, and he's like an Ivy League school guy. Like he's a smart kid, but he's like, I'm not sure if I can play in the Ivy League. Like, am I good enough to play at Dartmouth? Am I good enough to play it? And so he's trying. It's his senior year, and he's still trying to do that. But he doesn't want to go D1 or D2.
Right.
Like he doesn't want to do that. If I can go, because he's smart. Like if I can go D1 and I can get a great education, I will do that. If I can't make it D1 athletic wise, I still want that education at that school. So education plays a big part of it. Whether you want to be in. What I always tell players is, if you go to a school and you get cut, do you still want to attend that school?
Good point.
Yeah. Okay, like if you go to a school like, say, University of Tennessee, say University of Arkansas, okay, they're going to bring in 60 to 70 kids for fall ball, and only 35 of them are going to get roster spot. Okay, so if you're one of those, 25 people or so that get cut, will you stay at that school, or are you going to be like, oh, I'm going to transfer here and try to make this team? And then you become a vagabond and you're going back and forth. So I'm not sure if I answered the question. I would hope to give you, a bunch of different options to choose from. But I would say the number one thing is, what's more important, going to a school that you want to attend for 4 years, or 5 years, however long it's going to take you to graduate? Or is it, you know what, I want to play baseball. That's my number one thing. I want to keep playing baseball and getting better. And that college might be Concordia, right? Or it might be Doane College in the middle of Nebraska. I don't care. I want to play baseball. I'll meet great guys on my team. It'll be a cool school. It'll be a good college experience. It just might not be a Division I kind of, atmosphere.
All right, Troy. Well, I think we answered your question. Thank you for writing in via jimbopodcast21@gmail.com. I think that's Troy's first email to the show.
It might be his last if I just confused his kid's future.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Troy A. Former Dallas Cowboys.
Okay. Dallas Cowboy legend, Fox announcer.
Troy Aikman writing into the Lab Epstein Hitting podcast. Yeah. Troy is my favorite player, by the way.
Yeah, maybe that's
all time. Maybe he's heard of the podcast. Yeah. Hey, next week, we have had some schedule changes in the upcoming topics that you'll see, people, on the graphic. Next week, we break down the swing of the one, Shohei Ohtani. Yes. By the way, the last swing breakdown we did, Jonathan India, that guy's gone off. He's going to be Rookie of the Year.
He has gone off.
We know how to pick them, don't we? We know how to pick the ones.
Maybe we're just good luck charms. Wait till I do your breakdown, and all of a sudden you sign a contract.
No, right? Can you imagine
the Mets will sign you.
They probably will.
they got extra money from the draft.
That's right. Hey, listen, I'll let you be my agent too. We don't come cheap.
No,
they gotta let us do the podcast on a weekly basis on their multimedia channels.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's going to be in the contract as well. And then the week after that, we do Bailey Hemphill and then Sal Frelick. So we've got 3 mechanical breakdown series in a row. Yeah, that's right. We are doing Sal, my favorite player. My friend Sal.
He's doing good too.
Yeah, the next Brandon Nimmo. Probably, right? That's a fair comp, right?
Sure.
I mean, he reminds me of Nimmo.
Yeah, he does. A little bit.
A little bit. You can't even give me more than that on my birthday? Come on.
Just a little bit. He reminds me of a young Jim Tarabokia. That's what.
Oh, well, then he's not going to go very far. He's going to be sitting on the beach staring into the ocean. So 3 straight weeks of mechanical breakdown series. And then we have a 6-part college recruiting series that we're going to be doing. That spans from September 19th to October 24th. And then October 31st, mechanical breakdown series of me. And then the first episode, Monday, November 7th. To January 19th, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. It's the first episode, kind of like an off-season type series where during that period, we will rank the top 10 major league free agent hitters and breaking down their swings, each one every week, and then doing some predicting where they might be signing, where their career outlook may be like, whatever. So that'll be a lot of fun, and that'll take us into January of 2022. And if I did my math correct, it'll take us up to close to 100 episodes.
Yeah.
Getting close to the century mark in episodes.
That's
We got to do
right.
something special. We got to
Fireworks.
make a cake.
Ooh, I like cake.
Yeah. Tell the wife or the intern to bake us a cake.
That's right.
I like chocolate on chocolate.
Oh, you're a chocolate. I'm a carrot guy.
What?
Sounds healthy.
No. Have you ever had jelly cake? No. It's cake with chocolate icing, white cake with jelly inside. My uncles had this thing growing up. They had the jelly cake club. I wasn't part of the jelly cake club, so I never ate jelly cake. So fuck jelly cake.
That club.
I don't want to be part of it either.
Yeah, I want to stay away from that club.
It's also the high cholesterol club.
Yeah, right.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Next week, Shohei Ohtani, same bat time, same bat place. And yeah, that's it. Show's over. So
Happy birthday.
Cheers
Cheers to Jimbo.
Thank you. Talk to you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.